So, Drew, what's going on here? What have you learned?
Anderson, what's going on is behind-the-scenes attempt by the White House to at least keep insurers from publicly criticizing what is happening under this Affordable Care Act rollout. Basically, if you speak out, if you are quoted, you're going to get a call from the White House, pressure to be quiet. Several sources tell me, and my colleague Chris Freitz, that insurance executives are being told to keep quiet. Bob Lazuski, who heads the Health Policy and Strategy Associates, a consulting firm for big insurance and an outspoken critic of Obamacare, says he is getting calls from these executives who want him to speak out, Anderson, for them about the problems because they feel defenseless against the White House PR team. Lazuski told me today the White House is exerting massive pressure on the industry, including the trade associations, to keep quiet. The source is telling us they feared White House retribution.
So, I mean, what specifically do they say they're being told to keep quiet about?
About the fact that clarifications were made to the Affordable Care Act after the law was passed, and those clarifications are forcing the insurance industry to drop insurance plans that do not meet Obamacare requirements. There's a lot of coverage now required in these plans. That was not part of many people's private health care plans. Those are the people, Anderson, who are being dropped, and despite all the rhetoric from the president, you simply cannot keep your current health care plan if it does not meet these requirements. Lazuski says the insurance industry is embarrassed about canceling the plans, but in an interview last week, he told me the administration was warned about this very scenario and ignored the advice.
When the regulations are being put together, people in the insurance industry said, you're being overly regulatory, you're requiring too many things, you're making this too complicated, you're not letting people keep their plans who have them now. And the Obama administration decided to do it the way the Obama administration was going to do it. One of the things I think that's clear here is the Obama administration has no trust in anything the health insurance industry tells them about how to run a health plan. And I think the administrative mess you're seeing right now is indicative of what happens when somebody tries to run somebody else's business who thinks they're smarter than you are.
So, Drew, why would the insurance industry not be willing to challenge the White House publicly?
Well, the executives are willing to listen to the White House because right now it is the federal government that's the biggest customer for these insurance companies. Government-backed plans accounted for about 48% of health care policies last year, Anderson, a number that's expected to grow this year and years to come. So basically, the insurance companies are in a position to just be quiet for fear of offending basically their biggest source of income.
So have you heard from the White House about this? I mean, what's their side of this story?
Yeah, pushing back. Jay Carney just sent this note on allegations of White House pressure being placed on insurance executives. He writes, that accusation is preposterous and inaccurate. Plus, it ignores the fact that every day insurance companies are out talking about the law, in large part because they are trying to reach millions of new customers who will now have new affordable insurance options available from providers through the new marketplaces. That from White House spokesman Jay Carney just a few moments ago. He also reiterated that he thinks Bob Lazuski has been against Obamacare from the start and is a longtime opponent, I should say, of any kind of reform in health care.
I mean, you acknowledge he has been critical of Obamacare for a long time, so viewers should keep that in mind, as well as the White House saying that they totally don't buy this.
Absolutely right. But again, our sources of mine, Chris Freight's sources, are telling this is not coming just from Bob Lazuski.